Alright there guys, and welcome back to the second channel. This time we're going to be talking about advice. And really just the types of advice and how it can affect people. So we've got good advice, of course, which people should take on board and can help them. We have bad advice, which should never be taken on board. And then we have the third kind of advice, which is bad advice that sounds like good advice. I'll get into what I mean by that later. So, good advice would be something along the lines of, be yourself. And yeah, that is true. You should be yourself. What's the point in being fake? Actually, I can think of someone that knows exactly what that's like. Because the real version, because no one would like the real version of them. But yeah, just be yourself, just be a good person. Because even though in today's society it seems if you're a good person, you're actually the more likely group of people to be hurt. Because for some reason people have just thrown their morals out the window in our generation, where being a good person actually gets you hurt and treated badly, but yet being a bad person actually gets you attention and praise. It's weird how that works, isn't it? Weird how the world works. Because I'd like to think that I'm a good person. Has every action I've ever done in my life been a good thing? No, obviously. There is no way anyone can say every single action they've ever taken in their whole life was them being a good person. You know that's not true. But overall, I'd like to say I'm a good person. Shay's a good person, Connor's a good person, Rowan's a good person, Dean's a good person, and Ash is a good person. I'd like to think me and all my friends are all good people, because we don't go out of our way to try and make other people's lives worse. Yes, I know what you're probably thinking, but didn't you do that? Haven't you done that before? Well, maybe some people could argue, yes, I did, but other people could argue I did it for a reason. Anyway, let's not go into that. Now, bad advice. Let's get into bad advice. To start off with, for bad advice, we've got well, this is the thing. I'm struggling to differ between bad advice and bad advice that sounds like good advice but isn't. Bad advice would probably be do this thing because someone else is doing it. That's probably bad advice. And I've received that advice a few times over the years. Because this person did this, why don't you do it? But I'm not that person, am I? So no, I don't want to do it. But that's really the best I can come up with when it comes to just bad advice by itself. Because bad advice that sounds like good advice, that's what I wanted to talk about the most with this video. Let me give you a few examples of bad advice that sounds like good advice. Number one, treat people how you expect to be treated. It sounds like good advice, but in reality, it's not good advice. You should still do it, but it's not as practical as it sounds. Because just because you treat someone in the way you'd want to be treated does not guarantee at all you are going to receive that you are going to get the same back. Because if that was the case, if that advice actually worked, and however you treated someone, they treated you the same way back, you'd know who the good people are and the bad people. Because the bad people would treat each other the same way, badly. And that's actually another big problem with this generation, isn't it? Like, the generations are getting younger and younger where they think they're better than everyone else. They can do what they want. And the sad thing is, the generation that's gonna be below me, the generation below me is gonna think like that even earlier in life than our generation has. We're legit actually gonna have like 9-year-olds vandalizing stuff, aren't we? At some point, we're gonna have freaking 9-year-olds, people who aren't even in double digits in their age, vandalizing and just causing everyone around them issues because they think they're better than everyone. Because that's kind of how the world has gone, if you think about it. Every new generation knows more about the world at a younger age than the previous generation. I'm pretty sure I might have mentioned that before in a video, but yeah, our parents' generation knew more about the world at a younger age than our grandparents' generation. We know more about the world at a younger age than our parents did than our parents did. And the generation below us are going to know more about the world at a younger age than we did. And at some point that cycle will have to stop, because we'll be getting to the point where 1-year-olds know more about the world than we did at like 30. So yeah, the cycle there will have to stop at some point. But yeah, treat others how you want to be treated. Sounds like good advice. Should still be taken on board, but in reality it's not that good advice because it's not practical, because it doesn't work. Just because you treat someone that quite well because that's the way you'd want to be treated, doesn't mean they're going to do it. Now, example 2 of bad advice that sounds like good advice. Live every day as if it was your last. It sounds like good advice. It's really not. It just isn't good advice at all. Because if we're being honest, right? If we're being honest and practical about this, if you know this is your last day on Earth and you're going to die at the end of it, meaning you're not going to wake up tomorrow, there's probably people you have in your mind that you'd like to kill. If it was since you're not going to have to wake up and bear the consequences of it the day after, so therefore it doesn't affect you because you're not going to be alive the next day to suffer any consequences. So there's probably some people in your mind that you'd like to kill. If not kill, severely hurt. Because, I don't know, maybe it's because that they treated you badly, they screwed you over, they may have backstabbed you, or they were just part of a bandwagon that may have picked on you. When someone started picking on you, they just hopped on the bandwagon and joined in. Which is what a lot of people do nowadays, which makes them sheep. Just instead of being their own person, they just follow the leader. And the thing is, have you ever noticed that the worst types of people, the people that treat others the worst, are the ones that have a bunch of sheep supporting what they do? But yet, the good people that get screwed over pretty much never have any support from others. It's always the person doing it that gets the support. But yeah, live every day as if it was your last. That's actually no way. I know it probably means... The point of that message is live every day to the fullest. But the fact that it's worded in that way gives you the option to choose what I've just said. Okay, do we have another piece of advice, bad advice that sounds like good advice? I guess technically the video, we could connect this video to part of the last episode of Real Talk, where I talked about how if people say, if you see someone getting bullied and you just stand around and don't go to help them, you're as bad as the bully, when not completely untrue, not true whatsoever. If you're encouraging them to do it, that's making you as bad as them. But if you're doing nothing, you're not encouraging them, you're not doing anything to make them do it more, you are not as bad as the bully. That is such a stupid statement, and it's a complete lie. But yeah, if someone is getting bullied, you should help them. You should step in and help them. It sounds like good advice, but the reason why you can't call it good advice for definite is because, I mean, I guess I'm repeating myself from the last video, but the reason why you can't call that good advice the 100% of the time is because you could step in, but then you end up getting bullied by that person as well. Meaning, not only have you not stopped the other person getting bullied, but you've also started to get bullied yourself, which you really didn't need to do. If someone's getting bullied, they need to do something, try and do something about it. They need to try and they need to tell someone, they need to talk about, they need to speak up about it. Because other people are at risk of getting bullied by trying to help them. In no way am I calling someone who's getting bullied weak, but they do need to speak out about it, because do they really want to be the reason why they've ended up causing someone else to get bullied the same way they were, simply because that person tried to help out and it backfired on them and made it worse? I don't think so. But yeah, that should be it for this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to this channel, and the main channel, of course. on the road to 100 subscribers on the main channel. Still. And see you guys on Friday for the next main channel video. And will I do another one of these episodes between now and the 9th of November, when I'll do the 4th episode of the real mock exam mini-series I've had going for the past 3 years? I'm not sure, maybe. If not, but if I don't, the 9th of November will be the next video on this channel, if there's not one before it. But until next time, guys, catch you later.